Well, once again, the universe and the day is saved thanks to Star-Lord. No, I'm sorry, I mean Chris Pratt. I mean Bob Hoskins. No, not sorry. I mean Mario, the Italian plumber. Yeah, there's so many incarnations of this guy. But after a long adventure, we still don't know much about the lady of the hour, Rosalina. Where did she come from? How did she get her powers? How did she find this comet observatory? Well, I think it's about time we settled down with a little story time with her and found out about these questions, don't you think? Hey, paisanos! This is ToonGamer23, and welcome back to Let's Play Super Mario Galaxy! So in the last part, Mario kicked Bowser to the curb once again and saved the whole freaking universe a second time. This time at 100%, and we got a special ending where Rosalina and the Comet Observatory leave the Earth, but she promises to always look down upon them from afar. And she left behind a rusted out star shroom ship of some kind. What's the question behind that? Well, I think it's about time we found that out. Via her library. Sorry about that. I received a spam call at the worst possible moments. Luckily, I had my phone on silent, so... Anyway, where were we? Yes. To the library. With a little story time. We've had our little... Yes.
Mama's library is in here!
Yes, the one place on the Comet Observatory where we haven't touched. Let's go inside. After a long, strenuous adventure, and having collected all 120 power stars, I think it's about time to unwind for a little bit with a little relaxing, soothing story time with Rosalina. Ooh, and it looks like we're not the only ones.
Let us begin.
Let us begin. She just said that. Okay, story time. Chapter 1, The Celestial Duo. Our story begins a very long time ago with a young girl. One day this girl spotted a rusted spaceship holding a small star child. So that explains the Luma and the secret ending, but I'm getting ahead of myself. What's your name? Are you lost? The girl asked the star child.
I'm Luma, and I'm waiting for Mama. She's coming for me on a comet,
said the star child, who had been waiting day and night. Don't worry, I'll wait with you, the little girl promised Luma. At nightfall, the little girl borrowed her father's telescope and peered into the sky. She looked and looked, but she saw nothing. Hours turned into days, and then years, but still the sky revealed nothing. Finally, the little girl sighed and said to Luma, "If we stay here looking much longer, I'll be an old lady soon." But then she had an idea.
Why don't we go out there and find your mother ourselves?
The girl and Luma fixed up the rusty spaceship, and then the two set sail into the starry sky. And this is how the search for the celestial mother began. Okay. Chapter 2, Starbits. Days passed with no sight of the comet or even a single planet. Instead, asteroids extended for as far as the eye could see.
If I had known I was going to take this long, I would have packed more jam,
said the little girl, above the rumble of her belly. Oh, she even had some bunny rabbit. Cute. Before they left, she had packed all the essentials. Telescope, butterfly net, stuffed bunny, bread, milk, jam, and apricot-flavored tea. But
I forgot to bring water.
Oh, you forgot to bring water? Poor girl, dehydrate herself. At this, Luma burst into gales of laughter and the girl began to pout.
As long as I have star bits, I'll be fine,
said Luma.
Want some?
The little girl couldn't stay mad after hearing this. Luma continued to laugh, and the girl couldn't help but join in.
Alright, maybe just a nibble.
Leaning far out of the ship, the pair began to collect starbits with the girl's net. They almost fell out a few times, but they kept on collecting. The starbits tasted like honey. So there you go. Starbits taste like honey. So that's why I repeatedly said that there were honey-flavored candy bits in the game. So now you know. It's official. Chapter 3, The Comet. A beam of light pierced through the ship's window. Thinking it was the morning sun, the girl peered through the window, only to find a turquoise blue comet shimmering at her. Sounds ominous. The little girl shook the sleeping Luma awake and shouted excitedly,
"We have to get to that comet!"
The pair descended on the comet and found that it was made of ice. They looked high and low, but Luma's mother was nowhere to be found. Exhausted, the little girl sat down with a flop, utterly unable to take another step.
Look!
Peering down at the icy ground where Luma was pointing, the girl suddenly noticed clusters of starbits encased in the ice.
Pretty good, huh? Finding starbits is my specialty,
said Luma, beaming.
There's ice here, but it's so warm. I bet there's water here, too.
The two decided to stay on the comet for a while. Riding the turquoise comet, the pair continued their search for Luma's mother. Just hope she doesn't, the girl doesn't get hypothermia. Chapter 4, The Dream. One night, the girl dreamed about her own mother.
Where are you going?
She asked her mother's retreating back. Without turning, her mother replied, "Don't fret, dearest. I'm not going anywhere. I'm always watching over you like the sun in the day and the moon in the night." The wave of sadness washed over the girl.
What about when it rains and I can't see the sun or the moon?
Her mother thought for a moment before responding. I will turn into a star in the clouds and wait for your tears to dry. When she awoke, the girl's face was damp with tears.
You have starbits in your eyes,
said Luma to the girl. Wiping her face, the girl replied,
These are tears, not starbits. I'm crying because I'll never see my mother ever again.
At this, Luma began to cry too.
Mama, oh mama,
pair traveled through the starry skies, and though they encountered many other comets, not one of them held Luma's mother. Luma was despondent. I can't mispronounce that word.
Now, Luma. The rain clouds won't go away if you keep crying,
the girl said, giving Luma a squeeze.
I'll give you a present if you stop.
The girl closed her eyes and said gently,
I'll take care of you.
With these words, she felt a small spark in her heart. Chapter 5. Home.
The kitchen will go here, and the library will go over there.
The girl said busily to herself,
We'll put the gate here.
Ever since the girl took Luma under her care, she'd been bustling about at a feverish pace.
It's a lot of work, but it's worth it to make a happy home.
It turned out that starbits weren't the only things buried in the ice. There were tools and furniture unlike any they had ever seen, and the girl used them to build a home. So there you go. The Comet Observatory is built on top of a comet. Looking at the completed house, Luma remarked,
Don't you think it's awfully big for just the two of us? With a library, bedroom...
Okay, sorry. With a library, bedroom, kitchen, fountain, and gate, it was certainly spacious, but still, something seemed to be missing.
If only my father, brother, and mother were here,
the girl said wistfully. Indeed, the house was too large for its two small residents. Oh, so she had a brother. I didn't know. I didn't remember that. That night, clutching her favorite stuffed bunny close to her heart, the girl fell asleep in the starship. Chapter 6. Friends. Then one day, while the girl sat sipping tea, a tiny apricot-colored planet appeared on the horizon. From the planet, another Luma of the same color emerged.
Do you two know each other?
The girl asked the two Lumas gleefully. Despite the girl's excitement, they seemed uneasy. That's kind of racist. Not all Lumas know each other, you know. The two Lumas neither drew closer nor backed away from each other. Instead, they just stared. Then one Luma broke the silence.
My mama!
At once, the apricot Luma parroted back,
My mama! My mama! My mama! My mama!
The two Lumas began to dance around the girl frantically, and neither showed any sign of stopping. The girl was so charmed by this adorable scene that she couldn't help but laugh. And that's when something very strange happened. Oh my god, there's more of them. Suddenly, more Lumas began to pop out from the apricot planet. They were different colors, but they all shouted the same thing.
My mama! My mama! My mama! My mama! My mama!
Sorry, just couldn't help that. The sight of all the shouting Lumas only made the girl laugh harder.
What am I going to do with all of these children?
The Lumas just stared blankly as she doubled over laughing.
I guess we'll have to name each and every one of you.
Oh, congratulations! You're a mother of 6 billion, I guess. Hey, that's gonna be rough. Tomorrow, once she had finished naming them all, she would begin moving all the Lumas into the new house. Chapter 7. The Telescope. After seeing their 100th comet, a sudden thought popped into the girl's head.
I wonder if my home planet is still as blue as it was.
That's when she remembered her father's telescope. Peeking into the telescope, a tiny blue dot floated into sight. It was smaller than a star bit.
How strange. It's so far away, but it feels so close.
She twisted the knob of the telescope, and the blue dot grew until she could make out a grassy hill dotted with flowers. It seemed very familiar to her. Zooming even closer, a terrace on the hill came into view.
I used to go stargazing there when I lived on my home planet.
And on a side note, if you look at that castle in the background, it looks very similar to the wallpaper inside the terrace dome. So yeah, it's all starting to make sense now, doesn't it? Oh. She remembered rubbing the sleep out of her eyes as she followed her father up that hill to look at the stars. She remembered how she and her brother would sled down that hill. She remembered having picnics with her mother on that hill on bright and windy days. And
I want to go home. I want to go home right now.
the girl burst into tears, and the Lumas didn't know what to do.
I want to go home. I want to go back to my house by the hill. I want to see my mother.
The girl was shouting now, her face wet with tears.
But I know she's not there. I knew all along that she wasn't out there in the sky because she's sleeping under the tree on the hill.
Oh. I'm sorry. I need a moment. I'll be right back. I need a moment. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Oh, damn. That hit me right in the feels. Right in the freaking feels. The girl's cries echoed through the stars, and a hush fell over the area. Why is it always the mother that goes? Why? Chapter 8. The Wish. Okay, pull it together, Toon Gamer. Though usually quite cheery, one day the girl became sad again. Luma drew close and tried to comfort her.
Mama, you still have me. And don't be sad about your mama, because she's a part of you. That means she's always close by. It's like me. I love starbits because they remind me of my mama.
Oh great, here come more tears.
No,
The girl said, unable to stop the tears. A lonely look flickered across Luma's face, but it was soon replaced by a wide grin.
I have an idea. I will transform into a comet A soaring comet that can carry you all on this journey.
With that, Luma, trailing bands of white, soared high into the sky, and just as quickly started to plummet back down. Kaboom! Kablam! The ground shook, and a bright light poured out of the crater that the Luma had created. The bands of light twisted together to form a comet tail. And then Luma emerged, reborn as a comet. The girl could scarcely believe her eyes.
But how?
She kept asking.
Our destiny as Lumas is to transform into different things,
Said a red Luma who had suddenly appeared.
stars, comets, planets. We can become all of these things. When I grow up, I want to become a star that makes someone special smile.
Said a green Luma. A blue Luma chimed in.
That Luma turned into a real cutie of a comet, didn't he?
Are you implying something there? Or just saying cutie, just not as a... never mind. All of the Lumas together said,
No cry! Thank you.
said the girl in a whisper, and she pulled the Lumas close and hugged them. From that day on, starbits no longer fell from the girl's eyes. The comet set forth for the girl's home planets, its long tail blazing proudly behind it. Final chapter, Family. With its many lumas and telescopes, the comet was quite a sight to behold. The girl and the Lumas were proud to call it home. At a welcoming party for a new Luma, the girl gathered everyone in the kitchen and said in a louder voice than usual,
Alright, everyone, let's make a cake. A cake sprinkled with starbits. Then it will be a star cake.
The Lumas excitedly began to gather the ingredients. As she watched the Lumas scurry about, the girl smiled and thought to herself,
This is my family now, and I will stay with them until they're ready to leave the nest. And when they do leave, I'll see them off with a smile. Because that's what makes a mother happiest.
That night, when the girl lay down to sleep, a soft light enveloped her and reminded her of the blue planet she once called home.
But it would be nice to return home once every 100 years to nap in my favorite sleeping nook.
The comet carrying the Lumas and the girl continues on its journey to this very day. With more family members in tow that can be counted, it's said that the comet visits the girl's home planet once every 100 years, its proud white tail glittering in the sky. The end.
That's all.
That's all. My story is finished.
What a grand story that was. And Mario can read it anytime he wants. It's a very cozy little library she's got. I might add, just... Oh, these are probably family pictures. I had no idea Rosalina had a brother. I mean... what's the story behind him? I mean, I have so many questions. I have so many unanswered questions. I mean, yeah, this Comet Observatory, we know how it came to be, but how did Rosalina get her powers? What? How? I have so many questions surrounding this woman. I mean, possibilities with her are endless, but yes, it's beautiful that Rosalina is, in fact, the mother of all these Lumas. To explain the fact that she herself lost her own mother, and why Earth is actually her home planet, and she truly does visit every 100 years. And that's another question. How is she immortal? Huh? How did she gain immortality? I mean, she's just probably hundreds of years old, and yes, possesses the visual appearance of a young, attractive woman. I mean, my brain is gonna explode from all of these unanswered questions that I want answered right now. Still, though, you had a brother? You had a brother? Is your father still alive? Really? Really? Yeah, wow. So, yeah. What a story. What a story. I mean, you would think that it was just mainly for kids, but man, that story just tugs at your heartstrings, no matter what age you are. Another reason why I love this game. It's not only fun and whimsical, but it also gets you right in the feels on some level or another. It's just beautiful. It's freaking gorgeous. Much like the universe itself, it's vast and unknown. There's so many questions you have. So many questions about what's truly out there. And I think we've basically answered most of that with all the galaxies we've explored. And as well as a lot of unanswered questions with Rosalina that we will just have to make up on our own. I don't think that Nintendo ever had any canon ideas about her brother, Rosalina's brother, or anything. Okay. Well, it's been fun. Super Mario Galaxy still continues to be one of my favorites to this very day. And it's not hard to see why. But who can tell? Perhaps the fun doesn't stop here. Maybe it begins for another taller, green-clad Italian plumber. That's right. Chris Pratt saved the universe, and now it's time for Charlie Day to make his debut, to have his own cosmic adventure. But that'll probably come later. I'm kind of galaxied out right now, thanks to this game. But still, though, that story was a fantastic story to end out this Let's Play on. Except for one more part that won't come until much later. But I think for right now, I think we can bid Super Mario Galaxy adieu. So thank you guys so much for watching this Let's Play with me. Please subscribe, and if you would leave a comment and or like, that would be most appreciated. And if you would like notifications of any further uploads, be sure to give that bell icon a click. Until next time, this is ToonGamer23, signing out. And alright, go ahead and rest easy, Mario. Your adventure is over. For a little while, at least. Who knows, maybe there's one last grand finale galaxy waiting upon the horizon. But only time will tell that.